Welcome back to the Deep Dive. So today we're focusing on what has to be one of the most distinctive aircraft ever devised.
And strategically critical, too. I mean, we're talking about the V-22 Osprey.
The V-22, exactly. If you've ever seen footage of this thing, it's unlike anything else that flies.
Not even close.
It looks like a fixed-wing airplane until its massive propeller engines, in the cells, they rotate 90 degrees, and boom, suddenly it's a helicopter.
It's a true engineering marvel.
And our mission today is pretty clear. We want to go beyond just the cool visuals and really understand the tech that makes this hybrid possible. We'll get into the crucial roles it fills and, explain why, for certain missions, the V-22 has an operational niche that is literally unmatched.
And that entire niche, it really comes down to one single concept: Tiltrotor technology. For you, the listener, the key thing to grasp is that the Osprey is a fusion.
A fusion of capabilities.
Exactly. It's got the vertical performance of a helicopter takeoff, landing, hovering, all without a runway. But then once it's in the air, it transforms and gives you the incredible speed and range of a fixed-wing plane. It's a very difficult problem to solve.
Okay, so let's dive right into that engineering problem. Segment 1, the magic of tiltrotor technology. Because that shift from vertical to fixed wing is everything.
It is absolutely everything. And you have to appreciate the forces involved. I mean, you're managing control and stability across two completely different aerodynamic regimes.
So when we see it on the ground, that's what you're calling vertical mode.
Right. The rotors are pointing up, and it's basically a giant twin-rotor helicopter. But the moment it clears the landing zone and starts that conversion to fixed wing mode, the entire geometry of the machine just shifts.
Then the cells rotate forward.
Smoothly rotate forward, and those rotors become propellers. The aircraft is now a high-speed turboprop plane.
And what powers that? I mean, this isn't just a clever gearbox. There has to be some serious muscle behind it.
Oh, serious muscle. The V-22 runs on two Rolls-Royce AE1107C engines.
And these are beasts.
Total beasts. Each one is rated at 6,150 shaft horsepower.
Wow. And that number is important, right?
It tells you two things. First, you need immense power just to manage the weight. The vertical takeoff weight is a staggering 52,600 pounds.
52,000 pounds.
And second, that power has to be cross-shafted between the engines. It's a safety thing. If one engine fails, the other can still drive both rotors.
A necessity for an aircraft that's its own lift.
Absolutely. But engineering a system to manage all that power and torque through a rotating system, I mean, it's just an extraordinary feat.
And here's where the scale of it really hits you. When those rotors are spinning, the turning width is 84.6 feet.
That's a massive footprint.
It's huge. But the Osprey was designed for naval assault ships. You just can't park an 85-foot wide aircraft on a crowded flight deck.
And that's the engineering compromise we were talking about. The fuselage itself is long, about 57 feet, but the requirement was strict. It had to fit below deck.
So it does this incredible origami trick.
It really does. The rotor blades fold inward, and then the entire wing system rotates 90 degrees to sit right alongside the fuselage.
And the result of that is just remarkable. That huge 84-foot span shrinks to a stowed width of just 18.4 feet.
18.4.
And that single metric, that ability to shrink itself down for transport, that's the operational payoff, isn't it?
Yeah.
It proves the tech wasn't just about speed, it was about global deployability.
Exactly. Without that folding capability, the V-22 would just be too big for rapid deployment on carriers or assault ships. It solves a very specific practical problem.
So we get the tech. Now let's talk about why the military needs this hybrid monster. That brings us to segment 2, strategic roles and mission fulfillment. Because this thing isn't cheap or simple.
Not at all. So it has to solve critical problems, and it does that by using that unique speed and range that no helicopter can even touch.
Right, your standard helicopter just runs out of gas.
They have serious range limitations. They can't just deploy hundreds of miles, especially not with a full payload. The Osprey just blows past that, which is why it was a perfect fit for U.S. Special Operations Command.
They needed high-speed, long-range vertical lift.
They need to get operators deep into enemy territory. Fast, quiet, and land vertically. That's the mission.
And that speed, it really is the difference maker. I mean, the sources we looked at document its use in these extreme high-stakes scenarios.
Oh, absolutely.
Things like operations to quickly take down a Taliban warlord or missions deep in enemy territory where time is everything.
Yeah.
A high-speed transit versus a slow helicopter can be the difference between success and failure.
And it's not just special ops. It also fulfills key U.S. Navy requirements, combat search and rescue, fleet logistics, special warfare support.
That ability to launch from a carrier, fly hundreds of miles at speed, and then slow to a hover for a rescue, it's invaluable.
Defines its strategic worth.
And the key to all of this, to its global reach, is its ability to refuel midair.
That's the cornerstone. That's what gives it true self-deployment capability.
Without that, it would still be fast,
But its range would be limited, its theater would be localized. With air-to-air refueling, it can launch from the U.S., refuel over the ocean, and deploy itself literally anywhere in the world, unescorted.
Continuous, worldwide, rapid response.
That's the goal.
So when we talk about the V-22, we're actually talking about a family of aircraft, 3 specialized variants. Let's break down who flies what.
Okay, so the first one, the workhorse, is the MV-22. That's the Marine Corps version.
For troop and cargo transport, assault support. They've been using it since 2007.
That's right.
And what's really fascinating about the Marine variant is its use in presidential support for HMX-1.
Right, HMX-1, the executive flight attachment. You transport the president, the vice president, and the Osprey is perfect because it can land in tight spaces, but still has the speed to keep up with presidential movements around the globe.
That says a lot about the trust in the platform's reliability.
A huge amount of trust.
Then we have the CV-22. That's the Air Force and Air Force Special Operations Command version in service since 2009.
And this is where you see a big configuration difference. The Marine and Navy versions have a 2-person crew.
But the CV-22 has 3.
It's configured for 3, and that reflects its mission. The Air Force uses it for long-range infiltration, exfiltration, deep penetration missions.
So that 3rd crew member is essential.
Absolutely essential. They're a flight engineer, a mission commander. They're managing complex navigation, threat detection, all while flying low and fast in hostile environments.
But the newest member of the family is the CMV-22, the Navy's bird. They just started getting them in 2020.
And this one has a very specific job: carrier onboard delivery.
Basically logistics for aircraft carriers.
Right. It had to replace the old C-2 Greyhound, so it needed extreme range. The CMV-22 has specialized long-range fuel tanks to achieve that. It can move people, high-priority cargo, even jet engines, out to carriers at sea.
Using that vertical landing capability the Greyhound never had. And the CMV-22 just hit a major benchmark, didn't it?
It did. The Navy's V-22 platform achieved initial operational capability, or IOC, back in February 2022.
And IOC is more than just a date on a calendar.
Oh, it's a huge deal. It means the platform is fully ready for sustained combat and operational deployments. The crews are trained, maintenance is established, and they have enough aircraft to execute the mission reliably.
Which sets us up perfectly for our next segment, Segment 3, Global Adoption and Maturity. This aircraft went from being, well, a pretty controversial design to a mature global platform.
And the proof is right there in the flight hours. The entire fleet surpassed 600,000 flight hours in March of 2021.
600,000.
And that number has been climbing fast. It was 400,000 hours in 2017, then 500,000 in 2019. It shows deep, sustained operational use in every environment you can imagine.
And that maturity brings production stability. Bill Boeing hit 400 total deliveries in June 2020.
Which means there's a global supply chain ready to support these complex machines.
And that confidence went global. Japan became the first international operator in July 2020.
Which was a major strategic commitment, not just a token purchase.
And Japan's use case is really interesting. They use a modified MV-22 for their ground self-defense force. It's not about assault missions for them.
Not primarily, no. Their strategic need is rapid deployment to remote territories, often islands. They need an aircraft that can fly long distances at high speed from the mainland and then land in rugged, unprepared terrain.
So they're using it for humanitarian support, search, and recovery.
And rapid transport missions, exactly. The contract for those was signed way back in 2015, which shows you how long-term this strategic thinking was. The first planes finally arrived in May 2020.
Okay, but an aircraft this complex, that literally folds up. The logistics and maintenance have to be flawless.
That's the final piece of the puzzle. The focus on readiness is constant. You just can't afford downtime with these things. So Boeing's mission is explicitly about optimizing readiness globally.
And that support goes way beyond just selling spare parts.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about everything from maintaining a global supply of specialized composite parts to something called performance-based logistics.
Okay, break that down. Performance-based logistics.
It's a different model. The focus shifts from just selling parts to guaranteeing operational readiness targets. The manufacturer is actually incentivized to minimize maintenance time and reduce the total cost of ownership over the aircraft's life.
Which, for a machine this specialized, operating from deserts to aircraft carriers, must be the only way to do it.
It's the only way to ensure maximum availability.
It's really incredible when you trace the journey. It started as this radical idea, fought through all sorts of technical and budget battles, and emerged as this successful piece of engineering that bridged two different worlds of flight.
It really is a story of integrating three totally separate requirements: vertical lift, long range, and high speed into one platform. A platform that's now trusted enough to carry presidents and land special forces behind enemy lines. It's not an experiment anymore.
No, it's the definition of a rapid response capability.
It is.
And that definition, that unique capability, brings us to our final thought for you to consider. Given the V-22's proven ability for long-range self-deployment, its use in these unique roles like presidential support, and its central role in high-speed logistics for the Navy, how might this very specific operational niche shape the future of global rapid response for both the U.S. and its allies like Japan?
And you have to ask yourself, how much more specialized will military aircraft get? And what kind of resources will it take to maintain the readiness of these hyper-complex, demanding machines all across the globe?